This is Morning Juice. Sports, insight, and great storytelling. Starring Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Tito Thitoff. It's time to attack and dominate.
Attack and dominate on a Wednesday.
Nailed it.
Thank you. Off to a whirlwind start here on Morning Juice. I'm Tito, Jeff Thitoff to my left. Not Bobby Carpenter.
No, not at all.
Much more athletic Austin Ward.
Wrong.
Much more red.
I do have redder hair than Bob.
You do. That's fair.
I'll always have that on him, I hope.
You know, Bobby goes on the cruise, man. May come back with some red you didn't. Well, never mind. Anyway, Bodie, good morning. How are you?
Morning, guys. Doing great.
All right. Get enough sleep last night, Bodie? You were up late watching Ohio State, I'm sure?
I called it at halftime.
Called it at halftime.
Yeah, 8:30 tip is
it's
just too late, man. I'm sorry. It just is.
A little long. You're right on that one.
But they were, I feel like I got a pretty good gist of
you made the
what
right
happened.
call.
Yeah. What happened in the second half seemed to be a lot of the first. Ohio State was just better from the tip-off pretty much.
Well, it just swapped roles from Devin Royal back to Bruce
True,
Thornton.
yeah.
I made it to the under 12, and I was like, they went up by, I think, 16 at that point. I said, this feels pretty safe.
Felt pretty good.
And if not, well, we'll have a different story to tell on Morning Juice.
Exactly. 2 full hours here on YouTube, the Fan app, HD3. Download the show anytime. Catch us from 10 a.m. to noon on 10 TV Plus. Also, live on Facebook and Twitter. Morning Juice sponsored by Riverside Bank in Dublin. The fact that, usually you guys get treated on Wednesdays to one segment of Austin Ward. Today you get 6 because with us the entire show.
Sorry.
Thankfully for that. No need to apologize there.
I don't know. I walked out of the studio yesterday morning. The door wasn't closed yet. And Tito's just, I could tell that the arms are being thrown. He's like, well, I guess we don't have Austin Ward at 7:20 tomorrow.
Right.
What are we going to do?
I know.
This is a disaster.
Right. You think us having more of you would be good. If having a segment of you was good on a Wednesday, I would think having all of you on a Wednesday would be better.
Oh.
There we go.
Sounds hot.
Thank you very much. Ohio State, man, we mentioned that. We'll get the 86-69 win over Wisconsin. Ohio State improves to 17-9 overall, 9-6. They're at Michigan State on Sunday. We talked about it. We'll talk more about during the show, hear from Jake Diebel later on as well. But this was a game Ohio State had to have. They had to have this one.
Critical. They've been waiting. It goes up as their best win of the season. I still don't know if we call it a signature victory. Is it the one that really moves the needle with the selection committee? I don't know the answer to that, but we know that if they lost it, the opportunities to actually enhance that case heading into March were going to be few and far between or incredibly difficult to obtain. So at home against a ranked opponent, you heard a lot of conversation in the pregame and in the first half from the broadcast crew about how Wisconsin had turned around their year, how they might be the hottest team in the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
The Buckeyes were really a buzzsaw, the best version of themselves last night. I don't want it to come off solely as negative. This is a win that Ohio State and Jake Diebel can celebrate. Maybe they can turn it into momentum. We'll see. They've been lacking a win streak on top of that. They at least got one of these important victories in a ranked opponent. But I think watching it last night, Tito, that was part of the frustration. It's like, this is what this team is capable of doing.
Without Mobley.
Yeah, and it's because Devin Royal was fantastic. I think you have to give him full credit. We talked yesterday about his struggles over the weekend, how rough that performance was against Virginia, and I think that's another example of Jake Diebel. His voice still resonates. He is able to get this team motivated. They have not packed it in on him. They didn't pack it in against Virginia when they were up against it and shorthanded with the injuries, and they certainly didn't last night, again without John Mobley. So Devin Royal, took that message to heart, took the challenge, was fantastic in the first half. Ohio State builds that lead. Then Bruce takes over and does Bruce things. That's you just look at this team. It's like even shorthanded, that's something that they can pull out of their back pocket and beat a team as good as Wisconsin that has been playing really good basketball. It's like, why can we not just see that a little bit more often?
I know.
I don't want it to be the negative take because it's just I couldn't help but shake that in the back of my mind because we know that this team has enough talent and lost in all the NIL conversation, everything from the last couple of days. Bruce is one of the better players in college basketball. And as long as he gets just a little assistance, just a little, which Devin Royal gave more than a little, then they can do the things that they want to do, get to the places they need to go.
We'll hear from Jake Diebler again in the second segment. Play some sound throughout the day on that one. But Miami of Ohio State undefeated. They beat UMass 86-77. The Redhawks improved to 26-0 overall, 13-0 in the MAC. Michigan, top-ranked Michigan knocked off Purdue 91-80. The Wolverines improved to 25-1 overall, 15-1 in conference play. Cavs host Brooklyn on Thursday. Tonight, the OSU women are at Minnesota. So we'll see how McGuff's squad does out there on that one. But for right now, though, Bodie gets to be Bobby. He gets to make me smarter.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor,
Bodie
Bobby
Wells.
Carpenter.
All right, fellas. Happy Wednesday. Hump Day, Coaster Bob Day. February 18th, 2026, the 49th day of the year. 316 days left until 2027. How about that? Start with some events. How about this one? 1804, Ohio legislature approves establishment of OU, Ohio University at Athens, as the first university here in the state of OHIO. Classes wouldn't be held, though, until 5 more years in 1809. So a little gap year or 5 gap year.
So it's a college, and then they say 5 years later.
Yes, they approved the establishment of it,
Okay.
and then they got started 5 years after that. So.
Slow build.
That's a very slow build, yes. I'm sure some guys still have eligibility,
Nowadays,
though.
with the portal, they wouldn't have allowed that. They would have been needed to off and roll in there, probably 12-month span. Jumping ahead here to 1879, the French sculptor. Take a
Here we
shot
go.
at this
Here we go.
Frederic Auguste Bartholdi is awarded a U.S.
Traditional
patent
spelling.
for his design for the Statue of Liberty. So,
Oh,
good job out of him. It's pretty famous.
That
Little
is.
structure out there in NYC. 1885, Mark Twain, who we recently learned
Samuel
it's actually
Clemens.
not his real name. Yeah, he publishes The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn here in the United States. 1930, the astronomer Clyde Tombaugh discovers Pluto. There you go. There.
and
Well, yesterday
the
was
dog or
National Pluto Day.
Yes, the planet.
the planet.
And
Oh,
maybe the
planet.
dog too.
Maybe the
I
dog
guess.
too. Who knows? Yeah.
All the above, and then
Right.
Pluto's not a planet anymore, though, right?
I don't think so. I think it's
Yeah.
like a. It's
Got
great
dropped
debate.
off.
Is it a star? Is it a celestial? I don't know why. I just like to say the word celestial. Let me look see what is Pluto. And if it says a dog, I'm going to get upset. Go ahead.
All right. 1966, the Beach Boy leader Brian Wilson begins recording the band's soon-to-be classic Good Vibrations.
Pluto is a dwarf planet. I guess we can say
still
that
a
now.
planet.
Wow.
Just-
Located in the Kuiper Belt, a distant icy
Mount
region
Kuiper?
beyond Neptune. Discovered
Dot.
1930, yes. And formerly considered the 9th planet.
back down to 8.
Reclassified in 2006.
I feel like
he'll be back.
times were simpler when we had 9 planets.
Exactly. Right now, yeah.
It's kind of been all downhill since.
It has been, right?
When
We
did-
don't take states away, do we? No.
well, we could start. When did it become nada?
2000, reclassified in 2006.
Oh, man, 20 years. All right. Happy anniversary, Pluto.
Yeah, happy Pluto Day. You're no longer what you thought you were.
Happy birthday,
You're a dwarf
Jesus.
planet,
Sorry,
yes.
your party's so lame.
Outcast.
Yes.
On this date, back in 1986, the first anti-smoking ad airs on TV featuring Yul Brynner. He passed of smoking-induced lung cancer the previous year in October 10th of 1985. And nowadays,
Would they use AI then?
they throw some of those people up on there that got a hole in their neck and
Oh, yes.
can't really
Oh,
speak. That fear is a hell of a motivator, I would say.
Strong message.
How about this? On that same date, big day for the NBA, San Antonio Spurs guard Alvin Robertson records the second quadruple double. He scored 20 points, had 11 rebounds, 10 assists, and 10 steals, and a 120-114 win over the Phoenix Suns. That was the second at the time. We've had 4 total in league history, so 2 more since then, and 4 total. So pretty good accomplishment there. I meant to write down who the 4 were, but I didn't,
know-
Tito. So I know Hakeem Olajuwon was one of them.
Olajuwon's
I'm
up there. I
pretty
think
sure.
David Robinson is up there as well.
Yep, you're right on that. And then the first one, I don't think was as popular of a player, if I'm not mistaken.
I
There,
don't know if Fat Lever ever had one or not. I'm not sure on that one. He was a guard for the Nuggets. I don't know.
Nate Thurmond,
Nate
74.
Thurmond. Oh,
okay,
okay.
so yeah, I take that back. Actually, I know who he is,
Yeah.
so he must be relatively popular. And then a couple more events here. I've never seen any part of this movie outside of this scene, but I've seen this scene, and it always I don't know. It just sounds cool. And I like Ben Affleck. So on this date in 2000, Boiler Room, starring Giovanni Ribisi, Vin Diesel, one of Award's favorites, and then Ben Affleck, that is released into theaters.
You guys are the new blood. You're going to go home with the Kesef. You are the future big swinging dicks of this firm. Now, y'all look money hungry, and that's good. Anybody tells you money's the root of all evil doesn't fucking have any. They say money can't buy happiness. Look at the fucking smile on my face.
Ear to
Ear to
baby.
ear, baby. You want details? Fine. I drive a Ferrari, 355 Cabriolet. What's up? I have a ridiculous house in the South Fork. I have every toy you can possibly imagine. And best of all, kids, I am liquid. So, now you know what's possible. Let me tell you what's required.
Like Wolf of Wall Street before Wolf of Wall Street. Like I said, never seen any of the rest of the movie, but I've seen that scene, and it, I don't know,
Pretty much all you need to see. It doesn't. It doesn't get any better. And Ben Affleck disappears. And also, you don't need to see Vin Diesel play any other role except Dom Toretto. Like, he shouldn't do that.
I think he walked in there. He's like, "This is Brazil." Actually, not yet. It's not yet, Vin. And then last event here, and back 20 years ago on this date in 2006, Shawnee Davis becomes the first black athlete to win an individual gold medal in the Olympics, competing in the men's 1,000-meter speed skating. Some birthdays, big day here, Tito. All the way back in 1895. Someday Rock, when the team's up against it, George Gipp sadly passed away just 25 years later from pneumonia at the age of 1920. But George Gipp was born on this date in 1895.
I've got to go, Rock. It's all right. I'm not afraid. Sometime, Rock, when the team's up against it, and things are wrong and the brakes are beating the boys, tell them to go in there with all they've got and win just one for the Gipper. I don't know where I'll be then, Rock.
But I'll know about it.
But I'll know about it.
And I'll be happy.
And I'll be happy.
They don't make movies like that anymore, Tito.
Hey, look, Gipp's death was a good thing.
That's a hot take.
No, think about it.
It's a sacrifice.
Does win one for the Gipper never happens if Gipp doesn't die like that.
That's true.
Okay, and it led to a bunch of movies and cheers, T-shirts, apparel.
Probably lucrative for his family.
Yes.
Eventually. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Fair point. 25 years old, unfortunately.
His
That's
death,
still
while
pretty young.
tragic, saved lives.
Well, I don't know if it saved
Created
lives.
lives, right.
It motivated others.
What did Gipp die of? Was it cancer?
I think it was pneumonia. I'm pretty
Pneumonia?
sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
There's
he got. Yeah.
There's no George Gipp disease like Lou Gehrig then, so he's not that famous.
Well, I thought the way he got pneumonia too was
He's being forced to go practice out in the cold.
You put your gear
he
on.
got COVID-1.
Yeah, throat
The
infection,
original? The
strep
OG?
throat, and pneumonia 3 weeks after a victory over Northwestern. Yeah, I'm not seeing.
Pneumonia.
I think you really have to pin it on Rock.
It feels like it.
Hey, you know what?
Vacate some wins.
I'm just telling you right now, if that's what it took for Marcus Freeman to win one.
There we go.
I don't know who we're sacrificing.
I mean,
Could be
Brian
me.
Kelly tried.
Yeah, unfortunately, that didn't go very well, though. Some birthdays here. Lighter note. Born on this date in 1950, he sadly passed in 2009, but the movie director John Hughes, you've probably heard of a few of his movies. The Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Home Alone, among others.
Yep. I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Ooh, yeah.
Turning 93 years old today, musician Yoko Ono. Good for her. Long life there. Former lead singer of Styx, Dennis DeYoung, turned 79 years old today.
Very long.
That'll get you fired up on a Wednesday. Actor John Travolta, he turned 72 years old today, of course. Saturday Night Fever, Pulp Fiction, Grease, among many more. Wheel of Fortune co-host Vanna White, she turned 69 years old today. Rapper and music producer Dr. Dre, turning 61.
61
years old today.
Wow.
They want to know if he still got it. They say rap's changed. They want to know how I feel about it. You ain't up on pain. Dr. Dre is the name. I'm ahead of my game. Still puffin' my leaf. Still with the beats. Still not loving police.
That's the DRE.
Still.
And then still, exactly. And then last birthday here, Pittsburgh Steelers legend, New York Jets legend, left money on the table legend, Le'Veon Bell, turning just 34 years old today. I could not believe he was still just 34. I mean, I remember seeing a tweet one time that it was just like kind of joking about age in sports, where it's like real life 34, pretty young. 34 in sports, it's like it's a miracle this guy's still out here.
Right, yes. Right.
He might die on the court, but yeah, Le'Veon, his career was awesome, and then it was not awesome very quickly. Some passings today. Got a handful of pretty big ones here. Back in 1564, it's been a minute. Sculptor and painter Michelangelo passes away at the age of 88 years old.
Also a turtle.
Yes, one of.
That's quite a lot of longevity at that time.
I know. I
say
honestly fully expected that to say like 50
42.
or something. Yeah. And then 1902, at the age of 90, Charles Louis Tiffany, founder of Tiffany & Company. That would be, that worked out pretty well, I'd say.
Did okay, yes.
Another one that's worked out pretty well. 1938, George Dayton passed away at the age of 80. He was the founder of Target. Like I said, another one that's made quite a bit of chunk of change there. On this date, passing away at the age of 1967, the year 1967, at the age of 62, J. Robert Oppenheimer, the father of the atomic bomb, and had that movie about
pretty
him
good
come
movie.
out
Did you
just
see
a
it
few years
one?
ago. Yeah.
Did you see it? That
It was pretty
Did you
good.
see
It was slow, but
I did not.
I enjoyed it.
I didn't have the time for it.
it is. Yeah, it's 3 hours for a movie.
I wasn't.
long movie,
I wasn't committed.
I honestly respect. I think I watched it over a couple of nights because it's just like, man, I don't have the stamina for this, to be honest with you. On this date in 1998, passing away at the age of 83, Harry Carey, the longtime Major League Baseball announcer.
Whiskers.
I think mostly for the Cubs, right?
Yeah, White
most
Sox.
famously for
it was
the Cubs.
Cardinals, White Sox, and Cubs. The three, but the Cubs were most famous for that because on WGN on the Superstation, and they were the afternoon baseball every day in Chicago. So he had a certain niche of people that would listen to that would watch those games. So Harry Carey. Yeah, and my favorite quote of his is they pan out to a couple at Wrigley Field. And after every pitch, the man kisses the woman or the woman kisses the man.
Every pitch?
Every pitch. There was a kiss like on the cheek or whatever. Okay. And what Harry Carey said.
How can you not be romantic about baseball?
Harry Carey says, I figured it out. He said he kisses her on the strikes. She kisses him on the balls.
That's pretty good.
What an accident. I was like 5 years old and at a Cardinals-Cubs game in St. Louis. We were riding the elevator. And Harry Carey gets in. My dad says later, he's like, oh, he just reeked of alcohol before the game.
Well, of course he did.
And I was wearing a Cardinals T-shirt.
Oh.
And Harry goes, get that boy a Cubs hat.
That's awesome.
I went home and I became a Cubs fan when I was a 6-year-old because I could watch them on TV every day. And the announcer said that I should be a fan of them. And I was for a short time because a famous drunk announcer said I should be.
Hey, can't argue with that.
Respect. No. Yes.
A couple more passings here. Probably one of the, frankly, probably the saddest day ever in NASCAR and in the sports world, period. 25 years ago today, at just the age of 49, Dale Earnhardt Sr. is killed in the Daytona 500.
The 3 car down. Big trouble. Big wreck behind them. Beat him back. Come on. To the flag. Come on, Mikey. You got it, man. You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. Mikey. Michael Waltrip wins. Oh, man.
This is great. I just hope Dale's okay. I guess he's all right, isn't he?
Saw the crash and saw the cars sitting over there and saw the ambulances and everything, and it looked really dramatized and really dramatic looking, and it just looked odd.
This is undoubtedly one of the toughest announcements that I've ever personally had to make. But after the accident and turn 4 at the end of the Daytona 500, we've lost Dale Earnhardt.
That crash did not look, when it happened, I remember watching it didn't look like it was like that bad. Like it's
definitely seen way worse in NASCAR.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, I think the biggest thing was obviously the equipment's got way better safety-wise and whatnot, but he kind of notoriously didn't really strap himself in, right? That was part of.
I think he didn't
not
like
trying to
No, I know what you mean.
know.
I think he lived on the edge a little bit. Yeah.
And then last passing here, 13 years ago today, In 2013, at the age of 80, the longtime Lakers owner of the LA Lakers, Jerry Buss.
Look, Red, I know I'm still the freshman of the class, and you're the big man on campus. I get that, I respect it. But I wanted to meet because I'm asking for your help. I'm trying to build something out here, like you built Boston.
Then here's my advice.
Okay.
Enjoy this thing. Milk it. For the nookie, for the attention. Leave the dynasties to me.
You know, Red, we just met, so you don't know me. But I grew up dirt poor on bread lines.
Made all the money in the world, and you think you can buy this too?
No. I think I can win this.
I admittedly don't know how historically accurate winning time is, but if that scene is relatively accurate,
Yeah.
Mr. Buss was onto something there.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
And then holidays and observances, it is National Battery Day.
No, it's not. Come
there
on.
you go. I think that's the, stuff
little
that
ones.
charges, helps electronics run, not assaulting people, if I'm not mistaken. Could be both, though. You never know.
Well, that makes it awkward then for what I did before I came to work this morning. That I found somebody
Just celebrating.
Yeah.
It is National Drink Wine Day, and then
What's
Ash
that knowledge?
Wednesday, of course, as Lent gets started here. And last but not least,
Oh,
a
here we
very,
go. Notre Dame.
very,
Here we
no,
go.
well, no, Tito, if you just let me
Sorry,
talk.
go ahead.
A very happy birthday to what some people, me, would call the Michael Jordan of mothers, the Wayne Gretzky of mothers, the Marcus Freeman of mothers. Happy birthday to my mom, the greatest mom in the history of moms, history of the world, on this February 18th,
All right.
2026, 49th day of the year, 316 days left in 2026, Tito.
Well done there. Mom's birthday? You gonna say how old she is?
I talked to her on the phone last night. She said 39. Now, the math
good for
there
her.
isn't adding up because
like
I'm 10
she had-
years younger than her.
She had
and
quite the childhood.
my
then,
sister
I
would be
guess.
9 years younger than her.
Oh.
That's what she said, though. I was like, I don't know.
There comes a
math on
point
that
where
one.
it becomes less effective to say it's your 39th birthday again and again and again.
Yes. That's
And that's when we look across at
You know what,
Bodie and
though?
say,
She-
I don't know.
She said it. And I was like, you're the greatest mom ever. So
good
no
for
one
you.
might argue.
That is awesome, man. Good. Happy birthday.
Never lied.
Happy birthday, Mom. Yeah.
Mama Bodie, happy birthday. That's fantastic. By the way, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but Ronda Rousey's coming back to fight again.
Oh.
Now,
Gina Carano's coming back to fight again.
well, okay, here's the thing. I'm reading the article about it. Now, Rousey has not fought, I think, since 2016.
Fresh legs.
Well, that's not true. She's been in WrestleMania.
That's
She's
fine.
been at
Yeah,
SummerSlam.
MMA, the UFC stuff. And I thought, wow, that's a long time. You know when the last time was that her opponent fought Carano?
I would say like 2008.
2008. She's coming
Howdy.
back for an 18-year hiatus. That's like George Foreman-esque.
She should have sent out a Michael Jordan, press release.
Right, yeah, should have done
I'm
that,
back.
yes.
I'm back.
I'm back. So so they are fighting. Also, it's confirmed that Mayweather and Tyson will do an exhibition fight.
Nice.
I was just going to say, all of this sounds exactly like what was going on with Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
And Jake Paul's just rounding up all these former MMA
Right.
fighters and boxers. Like, let's tap into the nostalgia, which is not a bad strategy. People love the nostalgia hit. I don't know that I loved waiting until whenever, 12:30 at night, for Mike Tyson to come out and not
Yeah.
throw punches at Jake Paul.
Mike
But
Tyson. He still got it.
will people watch Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano? Yeah, I bet they will.
I think
Yeah.
they will. Yeah. Yeah. Been a hot minute. So I went and stepped into the octagon there. I almost have stepped into the ring, but that would have been disrespectful to the UFCers. It's the octagon is where they will walk into that. By the way, I hear that Jake Paul's next opponent could very well be Muhammad Ali, which would be interesting to see if that happens. I'd still give Ali the edge there based if nothing
AI.
else on experience. Yes.
Just
Let's see what
dropping
they do.
the
That's
L
all you got to
out.
do. That's what you have to do on that one.
Muhammad AI.
Coming up next, the Buckeyes knocked off Wisconsin. We'll hear from Jake Diebler, Morning Juice.
What's up, everybody? This is Jeremy Birmingham Berm from the Austin and Berm Show here on 97.1 The Fan. I hit maintenance after dropping 35 pounds on Awaken 180, and I'm not going to pretend that I don't feel different, because this is the first time in a long time I've actually reached a goal that I set for my physical health instead of just talking about one, thanks to Awaken 180. I'm under 200 pounds for the first time in 25 years, and that's not a small thing. I didn't have to muscle my way there either. The Awaken 180 coaches walked me through it. Every adjustment, every tweak. They made it simple. Honestly, it was easier than I expected. This now feels like momentum. I'm in maintenance mode, and I'm not guessing. I can have pizza. I can have ice cream. All the things I used to love are back on my menu, but my metabolism is firing on all cylinders. The difference is my body doesn't crave it all the time. It was a mindset change and not a Band-Aid. That's the part that changes everything. If you've been circling the same goal for years, maybe you don't need more willpower. Maybe what you need is what I had, a plan, a coach, and a system that makes it easy. Awaken180weightloss.com.
What does it mean to give 100%? It means giving everything you've got, every single day. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. So no matter what you give, we give 100% for life-saving research victories, 100% to making new discoveries that lead to innovative treatments, 100% to groundbreaking cancer research that could one day save someone you love. We know cancer research is working. Over the last 30 years, an estimated 4.5 million lives have been saved thanks to game-changing research breakthroughs. But there is more work to do. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. We will always give 100% to accelerate victory over cancer.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Donate today at v.org.
Once there was a man who couldn't stand.
A mom who couldn't wait.
A scientific community that said it couldn't be done.
And then you.
And then I.
And then we brought neuromuscular disease into screaming color with the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
For 75 years, our voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
We've willed the impossible into existence.
We've pushed the science,
raised the funds,
shifted the narrative,
and transformed the reality of life with neuromuscular diseases.
For 75 years, we've built communities together,
established the field of neuromuscular medicine,
and made it thrive.
Call that a legacy.
Call it impact.
Call it momentum.
Just call it ours.
Because it's the generations of community heroes that give MDA the strength we have today.
And until neuromuscular disease is a thing of the past, you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
One man is a national champion, NFL veteran, and local business leader. The other man is Tito. This is Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Big win for the Buckeyes last night, 86-69 over Wisconsin. Amari Byam had 13 points on 3 of 4 shooting the field. That was good to see. Good to see Bruce Thornton with 27, but really good to see Devin Royal. He went off for 25 points. He was 10 of 17 from the field, 4 of 7 from threes. Also had 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Bruce Thornton damn near messed around and had a triple-double with his 27, 9, and 8.
It was a good day.
It was a good day, yeah. I think also it did say his name on the blimp, if I'm not mistaken. But nonetheless, important win for Ohio State. And Devin Royal in particular, Jake Diebler singled him out and said that he, after Royal had kind of a difficult performance, I would say, against Virginia, he bounces back in a big way. Here is Jake Diebler after last night's big win over the Badgers.
Well, his work has been consistent, but he doubled down on it. But I think what gave me great confidence is he said, he's like, Coach, I got you. I got this. And he took some ownership and, studied the tape. And so he's responded when he's had games where maybe he hasn't been his best. So I believed him, and I know, what he's made of. So I didn't know he was going to hit 4 threes, but, I'm optimistic in general. So I just felt like it was a matter of time before he knocked down a couple. And then I think, he took really good ones. We were able to get him some looks around the rim early, which was important, tried to get him going. So yeah, he was, his approach and mentality and holding himself accountable leading into this game was really impressive as a leader, and I think a big reason, including the work, because it's not like he wasn't working right during that time, but I think coupled together, it was a big reason why he had to turn around.
When we first were talking about this in the last segment, I believe it was you, Austin Ward, that said that it might not be a signature win, but it's an important win. And I think if you look at the overall circumstances surrounding it, the fact after Ohio State coming off that tough loss to Virginia, a game they should have won, that should have been a signature win, coming off of that, and also not having Mobley and having this kind of performance, I think that probably makes it a signature win, but not in the books. So just like the
it'll feel like it.
It feels like this is more than just a win.
Yeah, and that goes for Ohio State as a whole and the body of work and what they're going to be submitting on Selection Sunday. but also you can narrow it down more specifically to Devin Royal because, I think you soft pedaled it a little bit, Tito. Saturday was bad for Devin Royal.
Yeah.
You cannot have it, and you had to sit with that for the last couple of days in practice. And I know, Jake Diebler mentioned there, did he expect him to hit those 4 threes? No. Is that a bonus? No. They need someone to be able to step up and support Bruce Thornton, and if John Mobley is out, that role is going to fall to Devin Royal, and he did not meet the moment on Saturday night, which is why a huge opportunity to claim a win that would really have staying power into March slipped away from them, whether that's practice habits or, taking better shots or just, being more efficient, whatever. I think what was most impressive about Devin Royal last night wasn't actually the offensive outburst, although the Buckeyes clearly needed that. You could tell that he was playing with a different level of energy and intensity. There were just a couple of stretches in that first half where he was chasing down loose balls, working to get rebounds, where it's like, okay, he's fully engaged here, and Devin Royal is going to do whatever it takes to help get Ohio State over the hump here. And I think that did translate into his offense. He had some confidence based on what he was doing with the way that he was playing at the other end of the floor.
The fact they've had to move Taysom Chapman into the starting lineup because of Mobley takes away from their bench, but still the bench did produce 8 points last night, which is more than they did back in January in several games. And here is Diebler talking about the strong performance by the bench.
Yeah, well, I think our bench was really good. We got some really important minutes from guys, and we wore down a little bit in our last game at the end. In this game, I felt like we did a better job keeping guys fresh, utilized some longer subs prior to media timeouts, and utilized some timeouts. So it was important for us to just maximize as much rest time as we could for our starters. But we had some guys step up off the bench, which was great to see. And I think Taysom is getting used to playing more minutes, which helps, right? I mean, he's played now in the last 2 games a ton of minutes. Probably I would assume those are the highest minutes he's ever had in his career in the last 2 games. So, I thought he looked more comfortable out there the longer the game went, which was really good for us.
Puff the Magic Johnson needs to be on the floor. He's got to be productive on the floor for this team. They need him off the bench to continue to produce.
Yeah, especially if you get into this, once you do get into the stretch, the postseason, the Big Ten tournament, no matter what, back-to-back, you're hoping to play multiple games. You have several opportunities to bolster that resume in your case. If you can't just ask Bruce Thornton to play 40 minutes every single game,
right?
Once you get to that championship bracket, so they need the bench to continue to step up. Some nights they do, some nights they don't. It's a little bit of a roll of the dice, but it has not helped that they've been stretched as thin as they have with the injuries at the top, most notably there with Mobley. We keep talking about that. That all hope continues to be from Jake Diebler that they get him back before the end of the regular season, and maybe that this stretch of playing Chapman, getting some other Gabe Cupps more minutes, maybe that puts you in a better position where you feel better about going to the bench when you get to March. But it's still never going to be great. I mean, they're not starters for a reason, and they're having to scramble this lineup at an unfortunate time when you have to get these wins and you're running out of opportunities. But they handled it well last night. I think everybody who stepped on the floor wearing scarlet and gray chipped in some fashion. Now, not maybe as much as Devin Royal or Bruce Thornton, but that's part of the deal here. You're going to have a pecking order, and your stars have to be the stars too.
5 games left in the regular season before they get to the Big Ten tournament. And as far as after that, hopefully the NCAA tournament. Here is Diebler talking about not getting caught up in their tournament hopes for the NCAAs.
Yeah, I think this time of year, I've been around college basketball for a long time, so you're aware of, the importance of every game. I think you can get caught up in that stuff too much because at the end of the day, no one really knows, right, until this stuff plays out. So I want our guys focused on the task at hand. That's what we're doing as a staff. We got to prepare our guys as well as we possibly can to have a great practice and then, prepare as well as we possibly can to have a great game. And so with the way our schedule plays out and the reality of where we are, we've got so many opportunities, and who knows how many you need, how many you don't. It eventually at the end of the day will matter. But if we're on an emotional roller coaster game to game, that's not the healthiest thing for us to perform at our best.
3-2 would put them at 20-11 overall, 12-8 in the Big Ten. I gotta believe that gets them in if they go 3-2 down the stretch.
Yeah,
Now, granted, depending on which one the win, one of those three wins, the at Iowa, at Penn State, Indiana here, I mean, those are the three that are most likely wins. But if they could steal Michigan State on Sunday, or God forbid Purdue when they play them, I mean, that would obviously bolster their case as well. Here is Diebler talking about excited about the challenge of playing in East Lansing on Sunday.
Yeah, we focus on preparing well, and our focus is internal right now. Like, what do we need to do? What can we control? And how can we, do those things at the highest level? We're used to playing in big-time environments. That's life in the Big Ten. We know that place is going to be rocking this weekend. But, we're a good team, and we've shown an ability to play well on the road. But, our focus is just right now having great prep work, getting ready for that. And that's the next one. That's the one we're focused on. And obviously it'll be a great environment. It was CBS, right? Yeah, I mean – I love weekend, February, like CBS, like that. Those games. This is what it's all about in college basketball. So we'll embrace the moment and make sure we're ready.
Did it say a lot to you about this team, the way they bounce back? And not just, I mean, they have not beaten an opponent this good this way all season, where they had their foot on the neck.
Yeah,
that sounds violent and never let up.
It is National Battery Day.
You're right. It is National. That's fair enough. Yes.
Assault, brother.
By the way, Robert Wagner. I gotta think of the guy's name. But it used to be a famous commercial in the 70s where this guy who was like a traditional tough guy on TVs and movies had a battery on his shoulder, an ever-ready battery. And their whole thing was, you think you think ever-ready's not the strongest battery? I dare you to knock it off my shoulder. I dare you. And that was the whole campaign. You have to look at it on the break. Robert, I can't remember what Robert's last name was. I got on the sidetrack there with the battery thing. But this was their most impressive win, I would say, start to finish against a quality opponent this season.
Not even sure it's close, to be honest with you.
I don't.
Seriously.
If you look at the wins, there's not even a close second. I think this, hands down, goes as the most impressive win, and it wasn't one that they stole. It wasn't a buzzer beater. It wasn't a miraculous comeback. This was start-to-finish domination. They jumped out on top right away. They had opportunities where Wisconsin was starting that second half, just like every three that they threw up seems like it was going in, but they weren't chipping away at the lead because Ohio State was staying consistent and efficient on the offensive end. They never looked flustered. And I think they do deserve a lot of credit for that, and Jake Diebler does too. Tito, you and I were talking about this on Tuesday. You are in this stretch where they lost that game against Virginia. There were so many opportunities. Gus Johnson is talking crazy on the broadcast, and it became a discussion for several days about NIL and roster building and everything else that could be going wrong with this program. And you and I both said we fully expect Jake Diebler to get year 3, and that is if they make the tournament or not.
Right.
And part of the reason I think for that faith is that Ross Bjork can look at this and say, does this team still listen to Jake Diebler? Is he getting through to them? Are they playing for him? Is the message resonating? And I think last night is a really good example of that. I know that that's the ultimate small sample size, but they all could have thrown their hands up. Devin Royal, Bruce Thornton, be frustrated by what happened on Saturday. They did not do that. They came out and played arguably their best, and maybe not even arguably their best start-to-finish basketball game of the season at a time when they absolutely had to have it, and against a team that had a number in front of their name. So I think the people in that building are still playing hard for Jake Diebler. Is it a perfectly constructed roster? Is it the most expensive roster in the country? It is not. But I think that there is a really good foundation, and I know that there will still be some people frustrated by that it's not meeting the standard that Ohio State should expect to be playing for championships. We don't have to have that today. The Buckeyes played a really good basketball game last night, and they are in contention to make something happen that hasn't in 4 years.
Not only did they need it just for last night, but for the next 3 games.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to make you feel a little bit more confident heading up to East Lansing. Now, if you go, get your butts kicked.
If the score is the same if the score is the same in the other direction on Sunday and they lose by 17 on the road, then we're going to be right back here having the same conversation.
But it certainly can't hurt to have your best performance ahead of what is unquestionably now the biggest 3 games of the season.
Sure.
I mean, we could talk about winning at Penn State and beating Indiana at home, but let's call it what it is. They have to win one of the next 3 games, and I would even maybe push that to 2. And I know that's a tall task,
right.
But you don't want to wake up on Selection Sunday, or maybe I'll say, heading into Thursday, Friday of that week, sweating out the potential of some bid stealers.
Sure.
Because you don't want to look at Lenardi's bracketology on Saturday ahead of Selection Sunday.
You don't want to be in the last
we're the second to last team in.
Yeah.
We're good. And
Right.
it's actually 48 hours later, all of a sudden two upsets happen.
A 13 and 18 team won their conference tournament.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's it. Whereas if you could win 2 of these next 3 and then beat Penn State and Indiana, win a game in the Big Ten tournament, then I think you're pretty – look, you're not going to be a 4 seed, obviously, but I think you're firmly in of a – I don't even know. Is it last 4
There's
in
last
the
4,
tournament?
There's last 4 with the bye.
Yes, last 4 bye. And if you could get to last 4 bye, then it's okay, that would take quite a number of bid stealers in the conference tournaments. And normally it does. Normally there's a few, but there's not half dozen or whatever. But
so I know I can be a prisoner of the moment, but I will just tell you that today it feels good to wake up. And period. I can just put a period there.
Amen, brother.
Thank you very much. Hot take there. Get on that one, right? I'm no George Gipp, but that we at least as they responded to Jake Diebler last night.
Yeah.
We can say that. We can say the team responded to Jake Diebler. The team responded to adversity last night. And there's been too many times lately where we haven't thought that the next day.
Well,
and it feels good today. I know it's just one game. I get it.
that's fine. We can call it what it is. I don't think nobody is sitting here saying, "Hey, Final Four,
everything's
there we go."
You're right. All is well.
I think that's real.
Yes,
fair,
but it's
fair.
just it feels good though.
And I would say even going back to the Michigan game. I mean, that Michigan game was pretty embarrassing, man.
Yes.
Last Sunday or 10 days ago now, and they bounced back and beat Southern Cal. I know you lost to Virginia, but you lost by whatever it was, 4 or 5.
4 up by 11.
4, and you had every opportunity. This is 3 games in a row now where it's okay, they're playing like a tournament team. They just now need to, and I would expect them in the next 3 games to compete well against Michigan State, Iowa, and Purdue. You just got to find a way to win some of them.
And I think that's, again, as Tito said, that it should feel good, and they should celebrate that for whatever. However, it's different than football. Maybe it's 12 hours instead of 24. They should feel really good about it.
Yeah.
But Jake Diebler said this, that they cannot be riding that roller coaster of emotion, but that's the way that this team has been playing because they cannot they haven't found a way to string together multiple performances in a row. This was rinse and repeat. Michigan was embarrassing, Bodie, and then they responded and posted a significant midweek Big Ten win at home over USC. It's all right, well, they're back and they're capable of this. And then you lost to Virginia, and the ending felt really bad, and we were wringing our hands for the next 3 days. And then they sent a message, and they bounced back again. Just find a way to turn that into momentum, and then we'll have an even better conversation about Ohio State basketball. They can't be alternating between dominant performance and being embarrassed. That's the part that you look at it, it's there still has to be some level of frustration to find that consistency. All the other things are true. They're responding to Jake Diebler when they have adversity, when they have setbacks. Let's just remove some of the setbacks. That seems like it'd be a real positive step in the right direction.
For resume and non-resume reasons,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
It matters just to continue to play well as a team.
Right.
And then it matters for the resume to continue to play well as a team and stack some wins.
I got a text last night at 11:08 p.m. Now, I turned my notifications off, so it didn't wake me up.
Good.
But it was from 10 TV's Jacob Reimer.
Oh.
Just want to point out that I said at 6:40 a.m. they were winning tonight. That was his text.
I made him.
I know.
Put it on the record.
Yes. 6:40
Man knows ball.
I believe Monday we also gave a little bit of a, or maybe it was yesterday, I don't know, one of the last 2 days, we gave a little bit of a, I'm sick and tired of hearing about how great Wisconsin is.
Right, yeah, we did.
Their time is done.
Coming up next, we'll do Quick Hitters Morning Juice.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. You don't want to start the new year off hurting. You don't want to start off the new year getting surgery. You don't want to start off the new year dealing with trying to plan something out into the future. What you want to do is get healthy. So what you want to do is go to my friends over at QC Kinetics. Dr. Tesner and his team, the medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Columbus, they can deliver regenerative treatments that actually help your body repair the areas that are causing you pain. Those achy knees, hips, back, shoulders, whatever it is, they can help you get ready. So instead of those invasive operations, it's going to sideline you all of the early year. Go check out our friends at QC Kinetics and see if they can help you today. Imagine moving better, being stronger, planning your year, doing what actually you want to do. So don't wait. Call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. They have offices located in Dublin and Gahanna, and they're already there for your free consultation. So go check them out today.
It's truck season at Germain Toyota, and the deals are about as tough as the trucks. Get into a new 2026 Toyota Tundra with 299% financing for up to 72 months plus $1,000 in Toyota Financial Services finance cash, or lease a 2026 Tacoma SR5 for just $289 a month for 39 months, 10,000 miles per year, and $36.99 due at signing. Power, reliability, and offers that work as hard as you do. Visit Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or check them out online at germaintoyota.net.
I always tell people I was the luckiest guy in the world. I wanted to be an Army man or a fireman, and I got to do both. As a firefighter, my job was about saving lives. I never thought one day I would be fighting for mine.
After spending his career answering the call to save others, Ken was diagnosed with ALS. Now he's facing his biggest battle, for more time. For 70 years, Muscular Dystrophy Association has been answering the call to help people live longer and more independent lives.
MDA means to me hope.
MDA is leading the way for people living with ALS, muscular dystrophy, and other neuromuscular diseases by accelerating research, advancing care, and advocating to empower families like Ken's.
I wouldn't be living as good of a life with ALS if it wasn't for MDA. MDA is helping people live stronger and love longer. Learn more at mda.org today.
Wounded Warrior Project helps post-9/11 veterans and their families realize what's possible. With support and resources that bring warriors together and empower them to become stronger, both inside and out.
It's possible to begin healing.
To get the help you need.
To find peace. And as each warrior's needs evolve, so do we. Because these last 20 years are just the beginning. Learn more at woundedwarriorproject.org/possible.
Attack and dominate, YouTubers. You're locked into the Morning Juice.
Morning Juice. Sorry, I was watching Robert Conrad. I dare you to knock this battery off my shoulder. I dare you.
We're locked in on that.
I'm telling you. Somebody said, there were a couple of Roberts that got thrown out. Someone said Robert Blake. It's not that one. Robert Blake was somebody else. Robert Wagner was somebody else. It was Robert Conrad. So, Bodie, quick hitters.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
All right, guys, happy Wednesday. We'll start with this one here from the NFL. Saw this one from Bill Barnwell of ESPN. He laid out about a dozen trades that he could see happening in the NFL this offseason that would make sense for both teams. And among them, we'll focus on just one of them here. He listed the Arizona Cardinals sending quarterback Kyler Murray and a 6th-round pick to the New York Jets in exchange for a 4th-round pick. Summarizing his reason as to why this trade could make sense, he notes that the Cardinals showed all signs of wanting to move on from Murray this past regular season. They basically kind of sort of benched him and then played Jacoby Brissett even when Murray was kind of healthy to come back and play. It also would save them $34 million on their 2026 cap space. And for the Jets, pretty simple. It's a rather low-cost option at a position that the Jets have been very mediocre for quite a while now. Tito, would you like the Jets maybe making a move to at least go from
one mediocre quarterback to another?
I would say horrible quarterback play, frankly, to at least average. Is that, or do you say no, just until you find a guy that you think can be the guy?
Okay,
stay status quo.
I'm starting to wonder if we should, and I'll say this without doing any deep dive, but
it's got to be true then.
Yes, Kyler Murray is 5'10".
Yeah.
If Bryce Young is 5'10". Diego Pavia is 5'2", or something like that. I'm not sure. Maybe an exaggeration on that one. And I'm just starting to wonder, the smaller quarterbacks that take the beatings, and I know there's other ones. I don't know how big is Hurts. Is he 6?
Oh, Hurts is pretty big.
Is he 6'1"? Is that what he is?
Well, he's also thick.
Yes,
truly,
thick, right.
Sounds weird to say, but he's
no, it's fine. You can say it about another man. I'm not going to judge.
Dude that can take hits. Russell Wilson was never very tall.
And
Still
neither was
isn't.
Breeze.
But he was a big dude. Like,
Yes.
you just like look at his legs, and it's like, yeah, he can take a pounding.
I don't want any part of Kyler.
Everything about it.
What table? So Bobby, we're here. Do you have any idea what would be going on right now?
Kyler Murray.
We all know he's
Jets
thick and can take
legend.
a pounding.
Actually,
I just don't. I don't want Kyler Murray. I don't want Tua. I don't want quarterbacks that are regressing. That are, and I saw it's like so, and I'm not trying to. They're all like undersized-ish kind of quarterbacks, so that have taken a beating.
I'd have to go double check again. Didn't do the deep dive.
Of course
Tito.
not. Nope. Go ahead.
I believe, especially when Bryce Young was coming out in that draft process, and they were comparing him to C.J. Stroud. I know that this stat came up a lot. It was like, well, there's only been one quarterback under 6 feet tall to ever win a Super Bowl, and it was Drew Brees. It's like, yeah, well, he had a pretty exceptional gift and was able to work around the lack of height with his accuracy, with his decision making.
Good coaching staff, good personnel around too.
And that, I mean, has not been a strength or a hallmark of Kyler Murray's career or a lot of these other quote unquote undersized quarterbacks who rely so much on their athleticism. I know that Russell Wilson, as you guys mentioned, is not the tallest quarterback in the world, but he's pretty powerfully built and had a strong frame and was surrounded by a ton of talent in Seattle, which alleviated some of that concern. But you're looking at the exceptions, and the rule is pretty clear cut. So how will that solve an issue for the Jets that has lingered for so long? It definitely works out, Bodie, for the Cardinals because they get out of this contract and they get to start over clean. And if the Jets just get duped by one more reclamation project at quarterback, let's just relegate them out of here. If they can't, if they're not even going to try, like that's the best idea that they could come up with. And I'm not saying that it's the Jets. This is Bill Barnwell. But if that's something that they pursue and they find that to be the solution, they believe that's going to fix it at quarterback, like just give up.
There's an old Far Side cartoon where you see a salesman, door-to-door salesman standing there. You see an idiot customer, and the box says, like, it's got a book that says double your IQ or no money back. And the guy's like, oh, that sounds like a pretty good idea. Maybe I should. I feel like the Jets are in that double your IQ or no money back. If you go talk to them about a trade, I think you could probably get them on that one.
That does sound good.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray was pretty good 5 years ago.
He was the number one pick.
Remember him in Oklahoma?
Right.
That was awesome. Yeah, it's kind of like every time somebody's tops out at like 91 miles an hour, and it's like, well, it worked for Greg Maddux. And it's like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it did work for Greg Maddux,
The number isn't zero pitchers who threw slower, who had success, but it's not exactly a million either.
I got the 45, but go ahead.
College football here, guys. For the Buckeyes, Ohio State brought in more than a dozen transfers this offseason as they look to reload the roster and make another run at the college football playoff. So who was the best of the bunch? ESPN, they listed their top portal acquisition for each of their top 25 teams. And for Ohio State, they went with defensive tackle James Smith. I almost said James Naismith. James Smith from Alabama. Max Olson of ESPN explained the decision to pick Smith, saying Smith, the number 3 defensive tackle in our transfer rankings. He joined the Crimson Tide as a top 25 recruit and then moved into a starting role in 2025. The 6'3", 297-pound junior put together a strong year with 28 tackles, 6.5 tackles for loss, and 2.5 sacks on 398 snaps. Now he's taking over for Caden McDonald, the Big Ten's defensive lineman of the year, and a Buckeyes defense that has recruited 4 top 100 transfers in ESPN's rankings, along with Smith, his teammate, is it Quay? Quay, yeah. I always see it. I'm like, Quay Russo. And then the 2 safeties, Earl Little Jr. from Florida State and Terry Moore from Duke. Austin, I think you can make an argument maybe for one of those safeties because Caleb Downs will be pretty tough to replace.
Yep.
But McDonald could be second-round pick at worst, maybe a first-round pick. And the talent of James Smith certainly makes that decision tough to argue with as well.
Yeah, if there had been any feedback whatsoever that Caden McDonald was going to be a second-round pick, I believe he'd still be in the Woody Hayes Athletic Center right now. The more that rolled in, the reviews, the breakdowns, scouts, general managers talking with, and Matt Patricia was really involved in this. He's been an asset, I think, for people making their decision, which, in some ways helped Kenyatta Jackson return. Caden McDonald is going to be a top 15 pick, and those are huge shoes to fill, as you mentioned, Bodie. So John Walker is also coming in to help fill that void at defensive tackle. But James Smith, some combination of those two or both are going to have to play at a very high level because that's the standard that Caden McDonald left. I think it sounds a little bit ludicrous given what
Don't say it again. Don't say it again.
What we've said about Caleb Downs and what everybody has seen from Caleb Downs and how highly he's going to be selected in the NFL draft. But, if you get the 2024 level of Terry Moore at Duke, he actually had a higher PFF grade, if you want to believe that, than Caleb Downs. So I don't feel like, again, I know it's crazy. I'm saying it anyway. I think Caden McDonald is the most difficult player to replace on Ohio State's roster. And that is James Smith absolutely the crown jewel of Ohio State's portal class? Maybe not, based on some of these others, but he needs to be.
I'm going to do a wellness check on Steve Kerr, by the way, just so you know, Bodie, if you see that in the chat there, we have to do a wellness check on him. Yes, the transfer portal, the Matt Patricia thing is what's so huge for me, I think, and you mentioned the role he played, and I'm not like right there in the facility like you are, right around the players and talking to them as much, but it seems to me like he is such an important part of this going forward, and I love the fact that all signs point to him staying. The Patriots just promoted a defensive coordinator, which is one of the spots that maybe, the Raiders have got their DC, so it feels like.
I believe the contract is done, Tito.
Okay, that's good.
And is there... I'm not like saying this to be like a jerk. I don't think anybody else is looking for a DC, right? I thought they've all been filled outside of maybe the Cardinals. I haven't not seen a name. I just haven't seen a name.
Wait,
and he's not going to go to the Cardinals.
Yeah, he's not going to go to the Cardinals. No, he would not do that. Yes. So, that part is huge for Ohio State for next season coming back, because we've already seen what he can do when he has to replace a bunch of talent.
Exactly.
He's done it. He's already done it. And now he's got to. I've been putting it this way for the last several days because Bodie's talking about the transfer portal class here. Like now, Matt Patricia's had a chance to shop for the ingredients. When he came in last February, that was not the case, and I think you're going to see even more Matt Patricia influence on what this defense looks like moving forward. That seems obvious, but I think I'm saying it'll look different even than a year ago.
It was a big night in college hoops last night. Something happened I don't think I've ever seen before in college hoops, and. Could Tiger Woods be coming back?
Here we go again.
That next. Morning Juice.
Hey guys, 13-year NFL veteran and Super Bowl champion Jason McCourty here. And I'm an innovation ambassador at FAIR, Food Allergy and Research Education. I would say the most challenging thing as a parent of a kid who has a food allergy is probably the ignorance that I myself had in the beginning. I didn't know what anaphylactic shock was. I didn't know the dangers, let alone the things that she needed to be able to have a normal life. When you go to drop your kid off, and every single time in the beginning, we'd have to go through everything she was allergic to. Preparation is everything. And me, for playing football for 13 years, it was all throughout the course of the week. It's getting ready for game day. When you're on the field, you're playing for your fans. At home, you're playing for your family. My playbook, read labels, keep it allergy friendly, and have an epinephrine nasal spray as a backup plan. Because when my family's safe from food allergens, that's the real victory. Visit foodallergy.org to learn more.
My mom is a veteran and she was injured in the line of duty.
I hurt my leg in a training accident when she was only 2 years old.
She had 7 different surgeries over the span of 9 years, and there were tons of complications.
I couldn't be the mom my kids needed me to be.
She missed so much.
After my last surgery, I got an infection so bad I thought it was going to kill me.
I told her she couldn't leave me yet. There was still so much she had to see. I hadn't even graduated.
I'm doing much better now. I may have lost my leg, but I've gained so much. I'm an active part of my kids' lives.
She can kick a mean soccer ball.
DAV's been there for me and my family. Through thick and thin, they've had our back.
Every year, DAV helps more than 1 million veterans like Sandy get the health and disability benefits they've earned, so they can achieve victories great and small.
My victory is getting my life back. I got my joy back.
We got our mom back, thanks to DAV.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
While serving in Vietnam, a grenade took my ability to see. Today, I'm a sculptor. Now, my fingers are my eyes. I'm Michael Naranjo. As a veteran, I know the challenges of life can be great. In my art, turning a lump of clay into something beautiful, that is worth doing. Life is like that. We each must use what we can to make things better.
DAV helps veterans like Michael get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year in life-changing ways.
Now, I show others how they can create something with their own hands. I know it can do a lot of good. With support from DAV, more veterans can shape their lives into a thing of beauty. My victory is bringing beauty into the world.
Michael Naranjo, may your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Proud to be your go-to sports addiction.
WBNS, WBNS-FM, HD3 Columbus.
The Fan 3, Ohio sports destination. Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Mike's off there, Bodie, because I said something kind of not nice about a certain area of Central Ohio.
Tito said there's some kids playing basketball in the greater Columbus area that
we're not going to say where.
Yeah.
That one kid went to prom, and he's playing third grade basketball against my kid. Whatever. Check the birth certificates. I'll throw a chair. I'll do like, was it Vince Vaughn throwing the chair at the end of Old School in the soccer game? He throw the clipboard to the wife.
That sounds roughly right, I think.
Yeah, I think that's correct. Okay, so we'll do this first. Tiger Woods is not ruling out playing in the Masters
Of
this
course
year.
he's not ruling it out. Has he ever?
Well, I think it got ruled out for him once or twice, just based on
somebody else has to do it. If it's up to him, I'm going to go play.
He said,
or I'm going to at least make people think that I'm going to.
In fact, he's now 50, has not competed professionally since the 2024 British Open when he missed the cut. The Open, I know they call it the Open Championship. That's pretentious. It's the British Open. Shut up. He hasn't won since 2019 was his last one.
Pretty big win, though.
It wasn't the Masters. It says the Zozo Championship.
Yeah.
Was that what that was?
Yeah, one of those limited field events.
Oh, well, like 30 players and no one cut. Yeah, it's fine. Whatever. Anyway, so, and of course, I wanted to play in the 2026 U.S. Senior Open.
It's coming soon.
Sauter Country Club.
Get your tickets now.
Yes.
Tiger might be there. He's going to get your hopes up.
I know. And that's what I'm hoping for. Tiger will be there. Do you root for Tiger or do you care?
I think I have lost the passion for the comebacks. There's been too many of them. I don't want to get my hopes up anymore. I mean, I grew up playing competitive golf, and let's see, I was 14 when Tiger won the Masters in '97. I remember watching him before that, and with great interest in the U.S. Amateurs and the comeback for whatever that was, the 96, the last one.
Mm-hmm.
I was all, how could you not be? He was the most electrifying golfer that anyone has ever seen. Whether we're going to debate him versus Jack, I don't think anyone ever viewed him as a dynamic personality on the level with the level of personality that Tiger Woods brought to golf.
Sure.
Like, he changed everything about it. So how could I not? I grew up watching that, wanted to see him win, wanted to see him break the all-time majors record. Like, you wanted to see history, and you knew that he was capable of doing that. So I have great appreciation for Tiger. Am I at the point now where I consider myself a fan of Tiger? Probably not. The way that it has gone, adversity that by his own making, some that he hasn't, the injuries, the off the course marital problems, all those things have been a little bit more bittersweet to watch with Tiger. It was great when he won that last Masters, and we talked about the nostalgia hit that Jake Paul has been tapping into with Mike Tyson and now Ronda Rousey. Like, it'd be so cool to see Tiger do that again. Am I rooting for it or expecting it to happen? I would say probably not, Tito.
Last night, something happened in college basketball I don't know if I've ever seen. A coach ejected his own player.
Just one day after you were praising Mick Cronin.
I don't believe I was praising Mick Cronin.
You said, normally, I hate this guy.
You're right.
But I love this.
Yes. I love the fact he gave the dollar, is what I they got the dollar there was the thing he sent it over to Kelvin Sampson at Houston, which I thought was great. UCLA, by the way, Cronin should be fired probably.
They can't afford to.
I know. They can't afford to fire him. They were losing last night. First, they got blown out by
Destroyed.
Michigan before this. And then this one against Michigan State last night. UCLA was down 77-50 with 4.5 minutes left in the game. And their center, Steve Jamerson, the second, got to make sure, but there's one discredit Steve Jamerson the first or senior or whatever. I don't know. How does that work?
I always thought it was senior, junior,
then the second,
first, second, third, etc.
Well, the first wouldn't be senior, then the first would be after
like
that?
I said,
do we know that one?
That's what I thought it was. I could be absolutely
our chatters will know it.
Wrong, but that's I thought it went senior, junior, then first, second, third, fourth,
okay,
etc. But I don't know.
So Stephen James, more show prep I should have done. That's on me. Who used to go to Michigan State, now plays for UCLA. He was called for a flagrant foul when Carson Cooper was going for a dunk for Michigan State, and he shoved him. Cronin then went and he got called for flagrant. Cronin took him out of the game and then walked him down the sideline and pointed get out of here. Go
on, get.
Right. That's what he said. This is what Cronin said after the game. The true toughness is how you compete and how you go to work every day. Steve's a good kid. He made a bad decision. But if you want to be a tough guy, you need to do it during the game for a block out, for a rebound. So I was thoroughly disappointed. The guy was defenseless in the air. I know Steve was trying to block the shot, but the game's a 25-point game. You don't do that.
How is it that Mick Cronin just so consistently finds himself making news like this?
Right.
And we can laugh at it and say, well, sending a message and he wants to set a tone for his team. You can do that by letting the kid sit on the bench and talking to him in the locker room or even yelling at him on the sideline. That holding his hand and escorting him to the tunnel, is just showing him up, embarrassing him. It's making Mick Cronin the star of this show. And to be honest with you, Tito, I don't know that that's what he needs to be doing right now. As you said, this is a very proud basketball program. One that, if we are debating what Indiana wants, right. UCLA fans, I think, pretty clearly would prefer basketball success than football. And I think they would desperately like to be able to remove themselves from the Mick Cronin situation and his salary, but the state of that athletic department is not going to allow them to. But you don't want to give them any room to fire you. Look what just happened at Kansas State, where they get a for-cause dismissal because you used some profanity in a post-game press conference. And I have to assume that Martin Jarmond, the athletic director at UCLA, is like, that's an interesting idea. Mick Cronin's done that after every press conference he's ever had.
It feels like Cronin's trying to get fired to me. Doing something like that, you're going to lose the locker room. You're going to lose the player because he gets shown up. A lot of people, but I'm sure there were eyeballs on that Michigan State-UCLA game.
Well, not as many as there are now.
Right, yes. But I'm saying it's a bad look for Cronin, bad look for UCLA.
No one would have batted an eye if UCLA just went on the road and lost 25. It's like, man, that's too bad. It's not really working out for Mick Cronin and the Bruins.
Yep.
Be great if they were relevant in basketball again, and they wouldn't think twice. But now, we're talking about it on the Morning Juice. It's on ESPN. They're showing the clip of him talking to the kid, showing the foul over and over, and the story has become Mick Cronin. And then it puts a brighter spotlight on how UCLA has shrunk from national relevance. You don't want to find reasons to talk about how bad your program is or how potentially embarrassing these actions of your coach are.
So we talked about it before in regards to both OSU men and women's basketball. The Ohio State men had this February 14th game in a neutral site against Virginia. Could have been good, could have been bad. We weren't sure what was going to happen from that one. Ohio State women did the same thing with TCU. I think it was MLK Day where they played TCU in a neutral site game. And I don't know if those were good or bad, but I know this Saturday, though, we've got a pretty good lineup in college basketball. There's the top 4 teams in the country are facing each other.
How did this happen?
I was going to say, this is insane, the fact that it worked out this late in the season to have. Now, granted, I think preseason you probably could have said these 4 teams, if you would have said, they're going to be ranked up there. It's that makes sense, but still kind of crazy, Tito.
It is. And so those, though, Michigan Duke, they play at 6:30 on ESPN. That game is in D.C. And then what was the other game? Then it's Houston and Arizona. Also is the other part of that double. But it's been I think it's been a very good college basketball season thus far. It's been exciting, I believe. And I know that we don't typically, as sports fans, pay that close. Football fans, Ohio State fans especially, though, don't pay a lot of attention to basketball until after football ends. But if you look back, it's been a hell of a run for college basketball this season on both the men's and women's side.
It's potentially another reminder of the value of NIL, Tito. Not just how desperately G League players want to go grab it,
right? Yes,
and trying to get court injunctions to do so at Alabama, but you look specifically at a program like Ohio State. Bruce Thornton, he's going to set the record. He's going to be the all-time
score. Yeah,
but keeping him not just in college basketball for 4 years, but at one school for 4 years is a reminder of what you can make happen and bring some of this back to get older, to stay older, to have some of that identity. Now he's a little bit of an exception across college basketball as a whole. There's still a ton of transfers going on, a lot of NIL money being spent, but we have made this point relative to football and Jack Sawyer and JT Tuimoloau and all those veteran Buckeyes that came back for a national championship run in 2024. But that's also true, and I think raising the level of college basketball. It sounds counterintuitive, but for all of the chaos and all of the nonsense and all of the roster movement across college basketball and college football, I think the quality of play for both of them is at the highest level that it's been in a decade, 2 decades. The television ratings are going up accordingly. That's bringing more money back into it. So it stinks the way that we're getting there, and it's hard to follow at times. And some of the movement is too extreme. And it would be great to have some roster rules in place and some collective bargaining agreements. I'm contractually obligated myself to say that on any show that I'm on. That has to happen. But the quality of play is really good. I wonder if that will carry over into the tournament in March. If we're going to get a bunch of high-level games all the way through, I don't know. But there was a lengthy period there in the 2010s mainly where it's like, these are just ugly basketball games, and getting through the tournament was a slog. I think we're going to probably be treated as a really fun run through the bracket.
In college football, the schools have their Heisman campaigns where they identify players that this guy's our Heisman candidate, and we're going to promote the hell out of him in every way, shape, and form that we can. Bruce Thornton will not be a Naismith Award winner, but I don't know if Ohio State is doing a good enough job of marketing just how damn good and valuable he is and what an important member of the history of Ohio State basketball that he's become, because he's done something no one's doing. You score like, and I'm not saying that he could have gone pro, because I don't anticipate much of an American professional basketball career for Thornton. Maybe overseas he could be very great, and it's not besmirching him at all, but
well, that's the thing, Tito. Like, if he went to Europe to make six figures, that used to be something that a lot of players would maybe want or need to do,
right?
Which is like being a 6th round draft pick and taking that. You don't have to do that anymore,
right? Yeah.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
No, but I wonder though, is he getting enough publicity and recognition for what he means and what he's meant to this program? Because I still think he's kind of, I don't want to say under the radar, because he's third leading scorer now. I know he's passed Jerry Lucas and Will Buford last night, but is he getting his flowers, as the kids would say?
No, but that's also because there's something missing on the resume.
Yeah, I know.
A chance to play in an NCAA tournament, to be in an NCAA. That's what really puts the spotlight on those players. When everyone, not just the 10 TV Jacob Reimers of the world, who watch every college basketball game the second that it starts. The television ratings are the largest by far once you get into the actual tournament, and everyone fills out their brackets, and you have betting pools, and people are engaged in that tournament. The casual sports fan that is not paying attention to non-conference basketball or even January Big Ten games, the interest is starting to climb up now. But as it builds, Bruce Thornton hasn't had a chance to capitalize on that when the world is watching.
Yeah.
And I hope he gets that, because even if it's one game,
this show hopes he gets that.
I want that for Bruce Thornton. Yes. I think it would be great for Jake Diebler. I think it would be important for Ross Bjork to have some program consistency and stability there. The benefits are, to me, obvious. I know not everyone agrees with that, but it is out there. But that is the thing. Is he going to be properly appreciated? What would be the proper level of appreciation, Tito, if he doesn't ever play in an NCAA tournament? That's hard to answer right now. I hope we don't have to. But if he leaves school as the all-time leading scorer, but never takes his team to the NCAA tournament, how do you quantify that?
No, wait, but okay, I'll push back on the phrasing of that. About never takes his team to the NCAA tournament.
But this is his.
I know,
built around Bruce Thornton.
It is, but if they don't make the NCAA tournament this year, and they didn't make it the previous years, I'm not putting that on Bruce Thornton. Didn't get them there. I'm pushing back. I'm going to say
that's fair.
It's more the roster construction. Last year's roster, if you look back, like how much hype there was for these guys coming in, former 5-stars that can't sniff the court, and are allergic to paint. No offense, Ahmad Bradshaw, Aaron Bradshaw, whatever your name is. But, I don't put that on Thornton. I don't put this year on Thornton.
I get it.
You know what I mean? So,
you're right. You're right. I agree with you. I shouldn't paint it in those terms. It's funny that you say that because I just wrote a column at Letter Monroe on Sunday about how Ohio State has squandered Bruce Thornton.
Yeah.
And it's not his fault that the roster was built this way the last couple years. Yeah. He didn't make the evaluations in the transfer portal or spend the money that they did the last couple years. It's not his fault that John Mobley was hurt before the game at Virginia.
Right.
I completely agree with you. It's just in 10 years, are we going to remember every detail about that? We're going to say, oh, well, what an incredible career. Well, was it? He didn't play in an NCAA tournament. I hope we don't have to get to that point.
I think that's the thing. It's like right now, I think most people would be like, yeah, like if we wake up a month from today and they're not in, it'll be like, well, what else could he have done? But 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and it won't be like oh, he actually sucked. No, it'll be like he was really good, but he never did play in an NCAA tournament game, and it's fair or not, heavy is the head who wears the crown. When you're the best player on the team, especially in basketball, the way 1 out of 5 can make a bigger impact than like in football, 1 out of 11, and only on one side of the ball. That's where it's kind of. I think as time would wear on, that's where it might become a little bit more of a but. And I don't think it. And like I said, I don't think fans would be being like, you know what, hindsight, it actually kind of sucked. No, I think it'd just be more of a handful of years from now. It'd be you would remember them not ever playing in the NCAA tournament rather than kind of being quick to be like, well, it wasn't all his fault.
I hope he is not looked upon with anything but love, because I've got a Bruce Thornton facial tattoo on the small of my back, which would be awkward then if all of a sudden people think he sucked. Wisconsin scored 92 on Ohio State the first time they played. Ohio State last night held them to 69. Here is Diebler talking about that.
Nice.
I think.
Oh, sorry, here we go.
At least
Tito.
it wasn't 6-7.
Yeah, I think in the most simplistic way to put it, our communication has improved dramatically, and our rebounding's gotten better. So, Virginia was an elite offensive rebounding team, and for the most part of the game, we held them in check. Aside from the start with the offensive rebounds that Wisconsin got, we did a great job throughout the game rebounding the ball. So those two things have to be, it starts there. That allows us now, to scheme, and I think the way our guys have been locked in scouting and things is certainly helped. But, being able to limit teams to one shot better, and then communication and how that's kept us out of rotation at times has been really good.
Big performance on the board last night for Ohio State. They've not always done a great job on the boards, but last night they did hold a rebounding edge over Wisconsin in that 86-69 win, which was very important to have that. They held Wisconsin 27 rebounds. Ohio State had 35 in the game. Led by, again, as I said, Bruce Thornton messed around with the 9 rebounds in that game. But that's going to be a key for this team, rebounding in depth and also just overall shooting. And now I'm saying everything important in basketball. They need to score well.
Well, that's why you're one of the best
yes.
rising young coaches in the game, Tito.
They need to defend well. They also need to stay out of foul trouble. They need to make their free throws.
Energy, effort.
Yes, that's what it is.
They do all that. They're going to beat Michigan State. I guarantee you.
I would think so. But getting
and if they outscore them,
yes,
look out.
Tilly fouled out in 19 minutes of play. And let's look at it and that's where I'm at with this Ohio State team is that I'll look at the stats, say, well, let's see, they won. Tilly played 19 minutes, no Mobley. You know what I mean? And they still won. They were able to do all that. It's still Tilly with 19 minutes. They still out-rebounded Wisconsin. I feel like I am, I don't say making excuses, but also God, if they can do this, What could they do with all cylinders clicking?
That's the glimpse at the potential of this team. Yeah. And also the maddening part.
Yeah.
Because it shouldn't have to be. To me, it feels like it shouldn't have to be this way, that we have to alternate back and forth between what the heck did we just watch and then what the heck did we just watch?
Yeah.
It's like they're capable of, and volatility exists, and we've made this point over and over and over and over that Ohio State is not ever going to be funded at the highest level compared to Duke, North Carolina, Kansas. That's just going to be a fact of life. And if you are sitting in that spot where you're a top 30-ish roster in terms of NIL and talent, it's not going to be unexpected that sometimes you look dominant and sometimes you get pushed around. But I'd just love a chance.
Yeah.
And maybe we get one on Sunday that's like they're stringing it together. They build some momentum. And we don't have to go bounce back and forth and ride this roller coaster of emotions, but something tells me we might be.
Defense has not been one of the cornerstones of this team this year. So the fact they were able to allow 23 points less to Wisconsin
Pretty good.
That speaks to coaching. It speaks to the players are listening to him. And honestly, last night, maybe a home court advantage.
Let's not go too far.
I know. I'm just okay. What was the attendance? What was the announced attendance? Let me take a look. I want to see what the announced attendance was. 9,006.
Yeah,
and
it really only felt. I was not there, and I was watching it on TV,
right,
so that I could get to bed and come hang out with you guys. But there was a point right there, I think, in the second half, and I remember that UCLA game that I went to a month ago. The first time that I experienced the Brickin' for Chicken promotion during the free throws.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, it's strange.
Brickin' for Chicken?
Brickin' for Chicken.
Is this a Roosters thing?
No, I think it's Canes.
Okay.
And because everybody else that was in press row was like, is this the first game that Austin's been to this year? They were like waiting for me to hear it because I turned and I was like, did they just say Brickin' for Chicken? Like, are we getting bricked up for chicks?
So
like what?
Like other team misses free throws, you get chicken?
7 missed free throws. And so they thought, the announcers, I heard
corn
them.
Corn dogs, Jackie.
Yeah.
Corn dogs for all these people.
All these corn dogs.
And they were like, oh, the crowd is really fired up for this call. Like, they're angry about the officiating. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
They get, the only time that the Ohio State crowd really gets fired up is they're bricking up for chicken.
Right.
And like that's what they're yelling for. And then when Wisconsin missed both of them and the crowd's going wild, and then it goes right back to normal volume in the shot. And it's like, so yes, they played at home.
Right.
A home court advantage. That's up for debate.
What time is the Purdue game next week?
It's a
Bodie wants to go get some chicken.
Yeah, so 1:30
it's an early
next
game.
Sunday afternoon.
Oh.
Week and a half from today, give or take. That could be, if you could get Michigan State or Iowa on the road.
Yeah.
I would like to think that Purdue game could be like, hey.
I think it'll be good. Yeah.
It should be a great crowd.
Yeah.
And it could be like a little bit of a win and you're in sort of deal.
It could be.
If you were to win one of the next two against Sparty or up in
Yeah.
Iowa City there, who just, as I look up at Sports Center right now, they beat top 10 Nebraska last night.
First of all, Nebraska's frauds. Nebraska like Indiana football. I don't believe in them.
Fair enough. Okay.
Got to win more than one national championship to make me believe in you.
Oh, and they stormed the court. Sure, some
Dude, there
people
was
were
some
pissed
dumb
off about that.
court storming yesterday.
But yeah, if you could win one of the next two and then come back home for that Purdue Sunday afternoon game, that should be a great crowd. But winning at Iowa or at Michigan State will be a tall task.
Coming up next, I know you want more Ohio State basketball talk, and we're here for you. Adam Jardy, Columbus Dispatch, joins us next, provided his kids got on the bus on time. So we got a little bit of a thing there. We will talk about Ohio State hoops next with him. Morning Juice.
Ms. Fernandez, what are those tiny things?
Those are what we call amoebas. You can only see them through a microscope.
Wow.
Today's students are tomorrow's great thinkers and innovators. But right now, there's a funding crisis in public schools. Millions of kids go to schools that don't have funding for books, computers, and so much more just because of where they live. You can help change that. Donor Shoes is a nonprofit that lets you support students and teachers in your community and beyond. You choose which supplies to support. You could provide first graders with pencils and paper, or other students with their first chapter books, helping music class get a guitar.
You could even supply a classroom like mine with a science project. But what you're really giving is the moment that sparks a brighter tomorrow.
To learn more, please visit donorschoose.org. That's donorschoose.org. Choose students. Shape the future.
I slept in a lot of different rooms, different beds, but none of them really felt like mine. I spent 14 years in foster care, mostly in group homes. And I never had much stuff because I always had to be ready to move. Why get things if you just have to let them go?
There are more than 100,000 children in foster care waiting to be adopted. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is working to help find them a forever family and a permanent home of their own.
Now I have my own room with walls that tell my story. I love hanging out in here. I play dress up with my sisters and I sing and make videos. But the best part? Knowing I'll always have a place to go and a family that loves and supports me.
If you have room in your home or your heart, see how you can help at davethomasfoundation.org.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Heading on now to the Bryant Heating and Cooling System fan guest hotline. Adam Jardy joins us for the Columbus Dispatch. Good morning, my friend, and I'm curious to get your overall take on this game last night and the performance of Devin Royal.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, from start to finish, it was probably their most impressive game of the year. I mean, they trailed for all of like 55 seconds or something like that, and led by double digits for the final 23 and change, and just really kind of did what they wanted to do against the Badgers. Never let them really get comfortable. It was a significant defensive bounce back from the first meeting between these teams, and Devin was huge. You talk about a guy who struggled mightily. I mean, in his own words, he said he was terrible against Virginia on Saturday. To bounce back the way that he did, he hit his first 6 shots, hit a couple threes early, and have that kind of scoring performance. I thought was a real strong reminder that there is a high ceiling for this team. And, you know, we've seen glimpses of it throughout the course of the season, but last night was maybe the most fully realized version we've seen so far.
Adam, how do you not get whiplash covering this team? Just going back and forth between, you know, performances that have you scratching your head maybe, and then something like last night, or even, you know, USC before that. Just bounce back and bad performance, bounce back, bad. Like, it's got to be maddening to watch every single game the way you do.
I mean, it's a good way to make a living. You know, it's like, I think like that Virginia game, like the thing that's so weird to me about that game is that, like, certainly the offense, you know, had its issues in the last 10 minutes, and fatigue and a couple things played a role in that. But like, they played some of their best defense in that game. And I think like watching that game and then watching this Wisconsin game, I think you're seeing consecutive games now where they've been able to stack really good defensive performances on top of each other, which is not something I thought this team was really capable of a month ago. It's not really been a team that's been able to lean on its defense. And so, yeah, even when they go from like just what seems like a devastating type of defeat to a decisive win like this against a ranked team, there's still common threads in there that you can see, and there's parts that make it a little less jarring. But it's the inability to put together a winning streak and the ability to avoid a losing streak it's been unique this season for sure.
Adam Jardy joins us from Columbus Dispatch on the Bryant Heating and Cooling System fan guest hotline. And I wonder about, like, okay, Ohio State, 5 games left in the regular season. There are 3 that I think are winnable, 2 that are going to be tough to win. The at Michigan State and hosting Purdue will be the toughest, I would think. The other ones, at Iowa was never easy. At Penn State always seems to give Ohio State problems. Now I'm talking myself into 1-4. But nonetheless, Jardy, do you think that regardless of how this season ends, that next year Jake Diebler is on the sidelines again for Ohio State?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I mean, I think the people that are in charge of making decisions like that, they're aware of the full picture and, you know, what sort of resources the program has and doesn't have compared to other programs that it's competing with. I think recruiting is at a high level. And I think, I guess you never can accurately predict exactly what's going to happen over a stretch of a couple of weeks in a span of multiple games. But, I mean, I think it would take I don't even know what kind of drastic scenario to change that. I just think there's enough there, and there's not enough reason to make some sort of change right now.
Adam, you touched on the resources, which became another hot button topic for the Buckeyes. Thanks to Gus Johnson on Saturday. I know that you asked Jake Diebler about it earlier in the week. You write about this all the time at the Dispatch. I imagine you didn't anticipate it would be such a topic of conversation at this point in the season. But from your vantage point or from your familiarity with the folks inside the program, what is it about the level of NIL funding that is misunderstood so widely?
I mean, just the fact that I think we all sort of have the expectation that it's Ohio State and they print money and therefore they have, you know, all the resources that they need for every sport at the highest level. And frankly, it's just not true. And that's not that they're not paupers and they're not going around. I mean, certainly they would like donations and they would like people to, you know, fund the cause, but like, you know, they're not necessarily hat in hand, like, hey, we have no money. So I think it's not quite that. There's still the best way to really, I guess, describe it is like whatever you consider the middle of the Big Ten, they're at the bottom of that when it comes to the NIL resources and the funds that they're able to use to construct this roster. And I think that's a pretty eye-opening sort of summary of it, because, you know, this is a team that is expected to be competing for championships and advancing deep into March. And really the financial resources that have been put toward that don't necessarily match up with those sorts of goals. And so I do think they're working on things, and I think they believe they're in a better spot going forward. But, you know, like my understanding is like Virginia's roster was probably somewhere about at least $4 million more than Ohio State's roster. So if you want to talk about like having, like, why doesn't this team have more depth? Why don't they have 3 more guys that can contribute? Well, if they were spending what Virginia spent, they would. So, you know, money's not everything in the sport, and certainly you can have talent even if you're not outspending everybody, but it makes a difference. And I think that has something to do with why Ohio State's roster looks the way it does.
Adam, the roster, the way it looks right now, there's no Mobley in the lineup. And all I've heard is, you know, they hope to have him back by the end of the regular season. Do you have any kind of update on exactly what the expectations are for when Mobley could get back?
Yeah, that's really the main, like, sort of date that's out there, and that's the biggest talking point that keeps coming back. I mean, I would expect it to be like 2 to 3 weeks potentially, and maybe on the shorter end of that, maybe closer to 2 than 3, because I mean, really, when you look at it and say he's going to be back by the end of the regular season, well, that's what, like 2 weeks or so from now. So, I mean, we're kind of running out of time there. So I think that shows that they do. It's not a significant, like, long-term thing, and that they do expect him back here pretty soon.
Adam, when you reference some of the bounce backs and avoiding losing streaks, and that's I think an interesting way of viewing it, because we can lament not having win streaks, but it's just as important to avoid those setbacks. It feels to me from the outside that you see something like last night and Jake Diebler's voice still resonates in that locker room. It doesn't, you know, you see the Michigan frustration, the loss of that a week and a half ago, and all of that, and it can be maddening, I'm sure, but it doesn't feel like anybody is tuning Jake Diebler out, which feels a little bit different than maybe the end of the Holtman era. Do you get that sense as well?
Yeah, this team would run through a wall for him. And there is certainly a really strong shared sense of belief that they are a talented team that still has really good basketball ahead of them and that has a lot of just kind of stuff to them. I think the fact that this team does not have a losing streak, is that's probably, I don't know that I talk about that enough. I do think that shows a lot about the resiliency and the, whatever adjective you want to use, the fortitude, the, toughness, whatever. This team's got some stuff to it, and they get that, or that is a reflection of its coach. I mean, that was one of the primary things he's talked about in trying to, reset things and build a roster and build a program the way he wants to, is a team that plays with toughness and grit and that plays together. And that message is getting across to his players. I think, even after the Michigan loss, that's a clunker, and it's a frustrating loss, and it's a disappointing loss. Gonzaga lost to them by 40. Certainly you're not happy with the 21-point home loss to your rival who might win the national championship this year. But Michigan is doing that to literally everybody this season. They're on an unbelievable roll. So I don't think that loss, it stung, but I don't know that it was like the black cloud that it might appear to be to some, because of just how much of a juggernaut Michigan looks like.
Any update on Brandon Knoll with his injury status?
Yeah, he's, I would say, tracking on a similar path to Mobley, where it's likely we see him before the end of the regular season. Whether that's maybe he's in the lineup for Indiana for senior day. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibilities, but he's still working his way back too. And I think that's another interesting wrinkle to last night. I mean, you think about this team played its most complete game and dominated a top 25 team, and it was missing 2 of its 5 opening day starters. And trying to have depth to replace that level of talent in this era of college basketball is really challenging. And I think that was another indication that this team is still growing and is still showing that there's opportunity for better basketball ahead, because you've got multiple guys stepping up down the stretch here.
I'm going to read something for you guys.
Okay.
Listen to this. Picture me being Morgan Freeman.
All right.
A quiet gym, 4 a.m., 1,000 shots. Devin Royal knew what it would take to put his performance against Virginia behind him. Here's my takeaways from Ohio State's win against 24 Wisconsin. That's the story Adam Jardy's got on the Dispatch. Posted this morning, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, about I don't even know what hour. Time is irrelevant at this point.
You could have had him deliver it in his own voice, like an audiobook.
I know, but I didn't want to put him on the spot. And I don't know if he had it right in front of him, the tweet in front of him. I had the tweet in front of me. So that's the reason to go. That's one of the reasons to go and subscribe to dispatch.com. Right, Adam?
Hey, I appreciate the plug very much, but I would like to think that's a reason, yes.
All right. We appreciate your time. Go get kids on the bus, and I know you're busy in the mornings doing your dad stuff. Thank you for taking time to speak to us and spike to us also. Brian Kelly there here on Morning Juice.
Appreciate you guys having me. Thank you so much.
That was Adam Jardy. Spike. I don't know where that came from.
Well, neither does Brian Kelly.
Neither does Brian Kelly. Family.
BK's from Boston, so
that's
true.
Where
the Southern accent
That's
came
fair.
from.
Yes, that's what it was from. Of course it was. Southern Boston. Coming up next, we'll tell you who's got us juice. Morning Juice.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. You don't want to start the new year off hurting. You don't want to start off the new year getting surgery. You don't want to start off the new year dealing with trying to plan something out into the future. What you want to do is get healthy. So what you want to do is go to my friends over at QC Kinetics. Dr. Tesner and his team, the medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Columbus, they can deliver regenerative treatments that actually help your body repair the areas that are causing you pain. Those achy knees, hips, back, shoulders, whatever it is, they can help you get ready. So instead of those invasive operations, it's going to sideline you all of the early year. Go check out our friends at QC Kinetics and see if they can help you today. Imagine moving better, being stronger, planning your year, doing what actually you want to do. So don't wait. Call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. They have offices located in Dublin and Gahanna, and they are ready there for your free consultation. So go check them out today.
Around the world, Children International and friends like you are giving children in poverty a chance to grow and thrive, to be healthy, to succeed in school, and achieve great things. How do we do it? in the best way possible by helping ensure access to healthcare, nutrition, and educational opportunities. And most importantly, by empowering youths and their families to get out of poverty and into employment through life skills, computer, and job training. The very tools they need to break the cycle of poverty and build futures full of promise. Because every child deserves a chance to realize their full and best potential. Learn more about how Children International is empowering children and families by going to children.org today. That's children.org.
You know what hope is? Hope is action. Carving a path forward, even when it's hard.
And kids who still know how to dream. They're the best pathfinders of all.
So at Child Fund, hope means helping millions of children living in poverty worldwide to grow up healthy, educated, skilled, and so all those good things can come true for them, safe.
And that means safe at home, safe at school, and safe online.
Hope means walking this path together, all of us. Because when we work together, we can do so much more.
That's right. Hope includes you.
Child Fund, because we need each other.
To learn how Child Fund works with children in 23 countries to help them achieve their full potential, visit childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
Bobby played for the Dallas Cowboys. Tito wears assless chaps.
I'm dead sexy.
You're locked into Morning Juice.
Morning Juice. Thanks for tuning in. Final segment of the program. Austin Ward, Cody Wells. We had Adam Jardy on. Thank you for that. Tomorrow on a Thursday, we should have Albert Breer. Ooh. And also, it's a Brody Thursday.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Get a dose of your highness tomorrow.
Haven't talked to your highness in a while.
Just a small dose, though. Nobody.
Yeah.
I wonder if he'll...
Easy to overdose on.
Yes.
Wonder if he'll recommend again that he needs to be on the Austin and Berm show like he did the last time I talked to him.
Wow. Did you have him on?
No.
Why not?
Not yet.
He said that the appeal was that he's got the Michigan perspective, and you'll be surprised to know that people aren't looking for that on our show.
Really?
Typically not. Yes, I know. I would think so. The haters maybe, but yes. Steve Kerr. All right, let's tell people what's got us juiced.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right. Sources tell me it's a Wednesday. That would mean Bobby goes first. Since Bobby's not here, that would then fall onto the shoulders of one Austin Ward. Austin, what's got you juiced?
I am juiced, Tito, that I can see the grass in my yard.
Mm-hmm.
There is still one surviving, couple foot tall pile of snow right next to the driveway from having to shovel out a couple weeks ago. But the rest, man, it looks fantastic. It's green. It's ready. It's like it was just incubating under there. Yeah, just waiting to pop out. And it feels like we're on the brink of being able to get those clubs back out and not just have to go to the simulator, Tito. So conversation with, the brothers-in-law and maybe planning some trips for the summer. It's all starting to feel like golf season is here. So I know I'm jinxing it right now, but I'm juiced about how close it feels.
You're right. And my daughter said yesterday it smelled like spring.
Ooh. Got that spring smell in the air.
Spring smell in the air.
Ooh,
yes.
wee.
Yes. Most of the snow is gone. Also,
Happy
yes.
birthday, Dre.
By the way, the downside of all the snow melting is
mud.
Well, mud's part of it. But I also then looked in my front yard and had no idea that the kids had put all the stuff in the front yard that was under the snow all this time. There's like...
What do we got out there?
Well, there is a very significantly long streak of like the garland you put on Christmas trees.
Of course, yeah.
That's
How'd
out
that
there.
end up out
Why
there?
wouldn't
I
there
don't
be?
know. There's a bucket of baseballs.
Mm.
An aluminum
bucket?
bat.
Bet
Yes,
those
a
balls
bucket,
are in good shape now.
a bucket of baseballs, an aluminum bat. There's a wiffle ball bat, which I don't know why you would have that because we don't have wiffle balls with it. It's just wiffle ball bats out there.
Wow.
There are 2 footballs. There's a basketball. There's a hockey stick. All of this was under the snow.
Tito's front yard, brought to you by Dick's
Telling you right
Sporting
now.
I was
Goods.
gonna say, sounds like a Toys R Us or something.
You talk about white trash. You drive by that, the broken shovel is out there.
Well, that's probably you.
It was a snow shovel that, like, the bottom, what do you call it? The pocket? What do you call it? What's the thing at the bottom of the shovel? What do you shovel with?
The shovel.
The shovel, I guess, yeah.
So it's a handle and a shovel? Is that what it is? Okay.
I'd say so, yeah.
All right, well, the shovel is detached from the handle.
So you just have a handle out there.
The shovel's out there, but it's a handle and a shovel. That's what I mean.
Separate from each other.
Yes, they are separated, yes. Bodie, what's Schleich got to say?
Are the ones that are preforming, which is the student athletes of all the things that we talk about.
Preforming or performing?
Preforming. I did say preforming. Yeah.
Schleig's definitely says Warsher, I have to imagine,
Yes.
right?
Oh,
there's
of
an
course
R
it
in
does. Yes,
there.
there's
I
an
feel
R
like
in that, yes.
No
Washington.
chance he does.
It's
Exactly,
Washington,
yeah.
yes.
Dwayne Washington used to play for the Buckeyes. All right, guys, got a few things for you here. I'm going to echo off of what Austin said a little bit. Walked out of my apartment this morning, and typically I just grab the winter coat and throw it on because it's just kind of, force of habit at this point. I walked out, I was like, oh my God, I don't even need this thing this morning. It felt so amazing outside. So that had me juiced. Also, today, Tito, quarterfinals of the men's hockey tournament at the Olympics.
Here we go.
Who we playing, Rammer?
Sweden.
Yeah, you're damn right. Sweden. In the Olympics.
That is exactly who the U.S. of A. plays today, this afternoon at 3:10 p.m.
Just
Eastern
cooked it up
Standard
just for
Time.
you.
Yes.
I was, I'd kind of follow the schedule basically day by day. When I saw that, I was like, well,
that's it.
I mean, fits it like, glass slipper on Cinderella.
It's meant to
there,
be.
baby.
Yes.
And then last but not least, guys, meeting day. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Fired up 1 hour, 14 minutes from now. 9 o'clock in the, where was this?
We have
upstairs.
No, here's
we
the
have
thing.
a syllabus.
Here's the thing.
It's in, radio staff meeting in radio. Makes sense. By the ping pong table.
Okay, I did not get invited to this one.
Good for you. I wish I didn't either.
Well, no, but so, do you know what this meeting's about?
Probably a lot of important stuff, Tito.
You don't get an agenda?
I know what it's about.
Oh, do you?
But I don't know if I
stuff.
But I don't know if I can reveal. I don't know if I was told.
And you know what it's about, but you're not invited. Bodie is invited, and he doesn't know what it's about.
Yes, I don't know if I was told in confidence.
Okay, so this is from Heather.
Okay,
who does a fantastic job.
Sounds sexy.
Well,
oh wait, I'm sorry. Heather's mine.
That's Tito. Don't get suspended.
I'm not getting suspended.
This is from Heather up in sales, who does an outstanding job with us. Multitask.
Yes.
And she's a five.
She's a five-tool player.
Yeah,
Yes,
five-tool
yes,
player.
she is. Yes,
she's throwing the outfield, throwing the infield.
Yep.
She'll get on base. What's he do, Pete? Gets on base.
Yes.
Hi, everyone.
I'll point out again.
We'd like to meet with the staff to announce the 2025 Employee of the Year.
That's what it is.
Whoa!
Okay, yep. Yes, that's
Along, not, but wait, there's more.
So that's why Tito wasn't invited.
I wondered about it.
Along with a few additional updates from Rick and Fish, they'll be sharing details on the newly improved Employee of the Month program.
Oh,
that
sounds improved.
And the new employee review process. Can't wait for that. Please plan to attend either the 9 a.m. or 1 p.m. session. We'll have donuts in the morning and cookies in the afternoon. How come? I might go to both, honestly.
Why not?
Double
you got
dip.
nothing else to do.
Be asleep at 1 o'clock. I wanted cookies, though, in the morning. For me, it's already basically.
Right, it's lunchtime.
1 o'clock.
Yeah.
So
it's not time for breakfast.
No, so
for Bodie.
okay, 'cause I heard you talking about the meeting, and I thought to myself.
I will say, real quick, if you aren't able to make it, don't worry. I'm going to record the whole thing.
Of course you are.
For Bobby, because
yes, Bobby needs it, yeah.
I cannot miss.
Well, he's
what's
really
happening.
competitive. He wants the Employee of the Year award.
So he'll probably fire that up, I'm sure, later on today, poolside.
Just because of
I doubt it.
My past experiences, when a meeting's going on that I'm not invited to, I'm like, wait.
Is this about me?
Hey, wait, whoa. So I did reach out to Fish. Said, Fish, hey, am I supposed to be at the meeting tomorrow? He said, no, it's for Employee of the Year. Which
you didn't win.
Which I could have taken it that way, but they also took it as, well, I don't even work here. I'm like Kramer in that
I think
one.
you're, and
I'm not an employee.
Because I tried to vote for you once for
You
Employee
did?
of a Month.
I appreciate that.
And somebody said, you can't vote for him. I said, I'll vote for who I want to vote
exactly.
for.
Can you heard it
want
worse?
me on that
yes, right. Why can't listen? I'm telling you right now. If they did former employee of the quarter or former employee of the month, I would always win that. I think I'm one of the best former employees because I keep getting hired back.
I think that's reasonable.
You know what I mean? Like how many other people?
Seems fair.
I don't understand why there's not a part-time Employee of the Month.
Right.
Because
I see of the month.
That as well.
Right.
You do a lot of work, Tito. I mean, I'm doing 7 shows this week.
I know you.
I'd like to
Are
be.
you really?
I'd like to. Yeah,
he's done a double show. Do you do a Buckeye show tonight? Is that what it is?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. You're doing the double dip here in the Buckeye show.
And
Is it-
again next Tuesday, I think.
Yeah.
That's a 2-hour tomorrow night, isn't it? Because no,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
jackets,
It's
It's the real
Nice.
deal.
Oh, yeah.
It's not one of those 30 minutes
It's a full Brandon Beam experience.
in and out. Yeah, but like, I'd like to think, Tito, that I could win it once.
I would think so, too.
You'll probably get 11. But if I could just steal one away, like maybe they give it to me in February for a busy week, filling in for when Bob's cruising. It's like, oh, all right, Tito's here all the time, but then Austin stepped up for Bob, and it's his birthday month, so let's just give it to him.
I play for the name on the front of the jersey. I don't need that kind of recognition.
Pull that jersey on.
You got 2 names on the front of your jersey today.
That's fair. There we go. Anyway, I don't. I don't need the recognition. Would it be nice? Would it be nice? Do I need to be liked? No. Would I like to be liked? Yeah. I think I'd like to be liked.
Rather be feared or loved.
Right. Exactly.
I want people to be afraid of how much they love me.
Right. So the employee of the year will be announced.
Yeah, sounds like it. Yep.
Do we have a favorite? Do you have a favorite? Who you
I
think
have a favorite. Yeah, I would be Ben and Tyler,
Yeah.
which is probably cheating to have 2 employees of the year.
You
but
can have that.
I would vote for them every year for eternity. But there's more too that are very well deserving. Colin does an awesome job here. Bacon Reeser.
Yeah.
They're always just
Baker.
doing something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. They're always just here though, working hard.
Yeah, I promise you this. There is some kind of thing that Scotty Vegas put together where you can bet on who's employee of the year. There's some kind. I wasn't invited to it because I'm not an employee, but I'm saying I bet there's a contest being circulated right now. $10 a man. Here's the odds.
Just draw him out of a hat? Or do you think he actually built the odds out?
I think he built the odds, knowing Scotty. I think he probably built the odds on it.
Yeah. Because drawing out of a hat, I mean,
Right.
with all due respect, there are
Yeah.
people who probably aren't as deserving as Ben and Tyler. Not saying they're not deserving, just saying aren't as deserving. And you got to set the odds, evenly.
Yeah, I don't. I don't want to draw Southwest Missouri State out of the hat. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that.
That's where my parents went.
Southwest Missouri State?
Yeah. It's not even called Southwest Missouri State anymore.
The fact that I just
was
pulled
pretty-
that's really,
yeah.
they went to Southwest. What's the nickname?
The Bears. It's in
The Bears.
Springfield, Missouri. Been to some games there when I was growing up. Yeah, they both went there.
All right. Well, I can't wait to hear
They
it
didn't love
is.
it when they changed it because they knew it as SMSU, and now it's just Missouri State. It's like, wow.
Oh, it's not Southwest Missouri State anymore?
No, it's not. Which is why it's even crazier that you said it.
That's bizarre. You're right. Yes. I feel like O's. And not Oz, it's O's, the Mentalist. It's pronounced O's.
Is it really?
Yes, it is O's. I swear to you it is. It's
Learn
O's,
something
the
new every day.
Mentalist. Yes,
I
I
always
know.
thought it was Oz.
I knew
like the
you
dude
thought
on
that.
Then there used to is Oz
The great and powerful.
still got his the doctor still got his TV show or whatever.
I don't know if he does.
Yeah.
It's somewhere. Probably it's probably like on the
I know he's got
CW or
pretty-
something. Yeah.
He started to lean pretty heavy into the politics, so he might have alienated one of
A little bit, yes.
half of his audience
Yes.
by choosing to do that, which is fine.
Yeah.
Free country, but
O's creeps me out.
oh, my computer just reset.
Is that good or bad?
Well,
We're near the end of the
we
show.
need 4 minutes.
That's fine.
it's back
the
by then.
O's thing freaks me out.
I just think it's fake.
You think it's fake?
To some level.
Okay.
Do I think it's possible that when he takes when he's trying to figure out somebody's like passcode on their phone, and if you like slowly move your finger across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and your finger can have the slightest like twitch, or
Yeah.
your face can make
Right.
some sort of like give away a tell. Yes, I do think that's possible. But when he writes out, like he did something with Notre Dame, and I know like he's done a lot with a lot of teams that's probably in this similar vein, where it was like he wrote out all these numbers and then he flips the card over and it spells out like "Go Irish."
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that can't be like possible.
That's the thing.
Like, there's
that's
no way. Like, it's like, well, this guy had a 6, and if you flip it, it's a G, and so it's like, I refuse to believe.
But there'll be a lot
that's
of people in on
possible.
the ruse, though.
I just think he probably goes to the team ahead of time, and I'm not saying it's fake and completely orchestrated from start to finish.
Right.
I think it's probably just like maybe he picks out a dozen guys, and then he finds 4 out of the dozen who has like an answer that he can like work with.
Right.
And then builds it from there or something, but I don't know. I don't think every play is scripted, but it's like, hey, you are going to score on one of the drives in the first quarter. You know what I'm saying?
What are the odds we get O's on the show?
Why
To
not?
de-
Well,
to
I'll call
debunk.
him out.
Have you ever asked?
Fake.
I haven't asked.
Well, you never
That's
know
one of those
unless you
things
try.
we got to go through Bobby. We got to ask Bobby, how many calls would you have to make to get to O's? Because I'm sure Bobby could.
Oh, yeah, he could find a
Okay,
way.
could do it.
Probably one. He's probably got him in
He
the.
doesn't have O's.
I bet he's in
You know
the-
what? I bet O's mentally put his number in Bob's phone. It's probably there. Look
it's
at my
already
phone.
there.
Yeah, it's right there.
I think right now you just said his name.
Right.
And it appeared in your phone.
And by the way, though, just to clear the air, I still think it's fun.
Oh, it's fun, yeah.
I
I'll
know
watch it, yeah.
magic isn't real, but when the guy walks over to your table, when I was like 11 years old on a cruise, and this guy walks over, he's like, "Is this your card?" I was like, "Oh my god, that is
That
my
is
card."
my card, yeah.
And it's fun. I
Yeah.
know he didn't really magically know it. He had some sort of trick.
Right.
And that's cool. I'm
Maybe.
perfectly fine with that.
Who knows?
Movies are scripted and they're still fun. Like I know the Avengers are going to win, but that's okay. I still enjoy the journey to get there.
I think that at a certain point, it becomes creepy if you learn how to do magic. Like, I think a 54-year-old man, if all of a sudden, like, hey, guys, I'm doing some magic, I think it's weird.
I could get on board with
You know
that.
what I mean? I think that once you get past 30,
or how much you learn, maybe.
right? I
If
mean,
you're 50 and you learn, like, hey, you can walk over, deck of cards, pull one out, and
Right.
do a quick, like, there's your card.
yeah.
But if you're any deeper than that, it might be.
Start pulling quarters out from behind
Children's ears. I know that's the part where it gets kind of
children you
weird.
don't know. To be more
Right, that's what I'm
specific.
saying. That's where it
Who
gets.
thought that would be a good trick? I don't.
Yeah, the cord out of the ear thing.
Yeah.
Right. If you do that, I do it all day long and just go bank it. Come here, kid. Let me see your ear. Again. Right? Again.
Wow.
I would
This
go
is
to
the ultimate piggy bank.
I would go to the elementary school and I would do all day, every class. See, that's
I think
again,
we'd
54.
probably-
Now it's getting creepy.
Like you said,
Yeah.
you walked right into the
I
creepiness.
did. I know. I did. Hey, I'm 54. I'll do magic. About
Because
6
the good
months.
thing is, you said at the start, I think it's creepy. I don't
Yes.
want to do it.
Right.
And then you explained exactly why.
But I wish I could do
But
magic.
if I did do it,
I do
here's what I would
wish I
do.
could do magic. Like OJ. If I did it. If I did
exactly
it.
what I was gonna say.
Right, yes, if I did it. That's a hell of a way
Computer's
to end the
still
show. Still efforting?
trying to fire it up.
Can we get off the air?
I think so, but I cannot guarantee that.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do then. We're going to start.
you haven't said what you're juiced about, except
I'm just
learning
about
magic.
learning magic. Okay, this is what we're going to do here now. We are going to say our goodbyes, but understand we could still have live mics. So we got to wait at least a few seconds before we say anything inappropriate off the air.
Hold on. Okay, actually, just give
We're
me
back
like
now?
I've never seen this happen before.
That's
Zeta's
what she
loaded
said.
back up, but it says not authorized to use.
Oh,
For Zeta?
Yeah.
I got Zeta. I get that sometimes. I just X out and start it back up.
Okay, let me try that.
Good, let's try it again.
We could. Hey,
We're going
folks,
to be here all the way
This
up till
could
the
be
9
the
o'clock.
longest morning juice since May 10th or May 9th, whenever they switched over to this one. People are saying they hope Bodie's computer doesn't work and the show lingers on.
Do you have to let it linger?
Okay, we
I don't think you have to. You have
Okay,
to?
yeah,
do you
we're
have
up.
to let it linger? Do
What
you
do you
have
mean?
to? Do you
Cran-
have to?
It's the Cranberries song.
You have
You
to
played
let
like-
it
We're ready
linger?
to go.
We're ready to
fired
go.
up.
Whoa!
Thank you,
We're
Austin.
back.
I will see you tomorrow. Thank you, Bodie. Thank you to